when you identify mirrors in the higher time frame, why don't you do the same on smaller time frames or entries and which mirror to consider? Because like the higher time frame gives a direction already, right? So for the small time frame, it's kind of just like you don't really need to find mirrors because you're trying to mirror the higher time frame by using the smaller time frame to enter. So like you're looking for liquidity on the smaller time frame, really. That's all that really is. Like higher time frame gives direction, smaller time frame gives you entries, right? By entries I mean like after liquidity, what can form, after closure, what can form, to mirror that move up. So like let's say on the 4-hour time frame, there's a bearish candle, huge bottom wick, right? And I'm looking to mirror that candle. If on the higher time frame, or my bad, on the smaller time frame now, right? So the higher time has a huge bearish candle with a bottom wick. The smaller time frame, let's say I'm looking to mirror to move down, I might be considering some type of top wick before you drive down, some type of top wick structure, right? Look to grab liquidity to drive down on the smaller time frame. But really, as I'm looking for liquidity up to drive down the smaller time frame, I'm just looking to mirror the higher time frame bearish candle down. That's all that it is. So like for instance, like the daily time from here, right? What am I looking to mirror today on the daily? The overall idea today was that I'm looking to mirror this push up, right? After a bottom wick is formed, which in the past was around like 2020. But if that's what I'm looking to mirror, I understand that there's important levels to the mirror, which is going to be obviously the daily flip, right, at 2034. So as you drop down to 2034 in a smaller time frame, what is that? That's above the range. So what you can do is just wait for a closure above that resistance at 2034. You close above there, you're gone up towards the next resistance because you're going to mirror that daily move up, right? So the daily time frame gave me like the mirror in the direction. The smaller time frame gives me opportunities to enter, which is a closure above or whatever the case is. But in this case, you know, closure above 35, 34 wouldn't be too bad. That's like an example, right? And the same thing for the move down too. Like the move down here, like if you were to drive down, what are you mirroring on a daily time frame? If in the past, like you created a bottom wick within these zones here, right? Bottom wicks were here, some struggle there, some struggles here, some struggles down here. I would assume that like as you come down, tap into this zone here, you want to be very cautious of price because in that zone, anything can happen. You can reject or you can just push straight through it, right? But looking at price today, it looks like you have a higher chance to reject than you have a higher chance to continue down. So if you have a higher chance to reject, all we gotta do now is look for ways to take advantage of that rejection, right? Which means that like, okay, as I drop down to a smaller time frame, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna drop my levels, right? And I'll say, cool, if you reject this level, that's not my business, right? Because I don't know if we're gonna reject or not, because that's like catching a falling knife, right? However, if you close above 2029, what is that going to be? A fake out. And if that's a fake out, what happens after a fake out? You can't just come up to fill the range, which means that you do something like this. And if you do something like that, what happens? You fill the range. If you fill the range, what happens? The 4-hour flips. The 4-hour flips, what happens? You mirror the daily time frame, right? So like it's just kind of like a story you're trying to build. And in this case, this is like the story of the day. This is the script of the day. But each day is different, right? It's not always the same. Like, you know, it's not always perfect. It's not always going to be as simple as it would be, I'll say, today. Today's a lot more simple because you're at a different part of the cycle. But I think yesterday might be a little tough because you came onto the session during the actual move. So now you have to understand, you know, different